We are live.
We're here. We're live.
We're doing it.
We made it.
When was it that I saw you in Starbucks where I walked up to you and I was like...
A year ago at this point.
About, right?
About a year. It was March of last year. I was just about to go on my trip with my brother to Rio. And I remember we were like, let's come down here. Let's check out the studio. I think you were just moving in, or you maybe...
To the studio. I had just moved into the spot that I was in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah. Happy to be here. Excited to chat. And
This is going to be good. It's going to be fun. I'm very intrigued. I told you before we even jumped on, like I'm intrigued and interested in your story, who you are. Obviously, we have history because we grew up in the same area, same town, went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Tell me about you, dude. Like, all right, so,
Damn.
All right, first of all, you graduated with my sister?
In high school, yeah.
Graduated with my sister in high school.
Sister.
Okay, so you're 2011
graduate.
11 graduate.
But then I went to college, and I got a triple major in 3 years. Okay. So
no big deal.
I was pretty quick with trying to get
where you wanted to go. Yeah.
And just actually like get basically to working. But yeah, I did 3 majors in 3 years.
What majors?
International business, economics, and global studies.
What pushed you to do that? Where does that ambition come from?
Good question. So for me, my first trip outside of the U.S. and outside of New Jersey was to Israel.
Okay.
And that completely changed my life.
Wow.
I went there. I saw the commerce between people, the food, the intellect, just like totally different people out there in the world. And it made me come back. I was actually a business major at first, but then I wanted to go into international business and economics because I wanted to do something with money, but also something with international kind of power at B.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wildly ambitious for when you're deciding this at what, 17, 18?
I was 18, yeah. Yeah. So
you might be the only person that I know that ever came out of Westwood and went for international
business, economics, and global studies. Yeah, it was
a crazy dynamic. In the 3 years you finished.
In 3 years I finished, yeah. And what's funny is all professors and advisors all told me that it was not possible, that I couldn't graduate in 3 years with 3 majors.
Wow.
But I mean, I bulk loaded, my like courses.
Yeah, so you got
like
the credits necessary.
I was doing like 20 to 30 credits per month, per quarter. So yeah,
I went to school for 2.5 years and wound up with 20 to 30 credits. So.
Yeah. So I was
very different.
That's it. I was doing 20 to 30 like in a bulk, semester. Yeah.
That's amazing. Does something like that, do teachers or anybody that tells you can't, does that push you?
100%.
Are you like that? You built like that?
100%. I am like, that is, if somebody tells me it's not possible, completely that etches something in my brain to be like, okay, well, hold on. There's got to be something here. Why not? Well, just because it hasn't been done before, like, why not?
Yeah. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to have. You either get scared, and I think the majority of people get scared. I think they clam up and they believe it.
Yeah.
And there's the few
who just power through.
Well, there's a few that do it, like they go over the top.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, you're relax.
It's a little bit much. Yeah.
But then there's a few that like get it.
Yeah.
That understand that push is kind of, oh yeah, I'm gonna show you that I can do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna prove you wrong or prove myself right. All of
awesome.
that. Yeah.
I love that mentality. All right, so 3 years, you finish up school. What's the first thing you do when you leave school?
First thing that I did was work. So I worked on Wall Street for about 5 years. I bounced between Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, and then back to Morgan Stanley. And it was in the investment banking world. And honestly, like, it was great. It was a great experience for me. But, I was going into work at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay. I was not leaving until
from Jersey.
I was commuting from New Jersey to the city.
Yeah.
I would get on like the 3 or 4 o'clock early AM train. And then I wouldn't be back on the train until like 11 o'clock PM.
Oh my God. And then up at 3, 4?
Yes.
So you're getting what?
2, 3, 4 hours of sleep max.
How long did you do that for?
I did that for 5 years.
That was the schedule for 5 years?
For 3 to 5 years, that was the schedule. Yeah.
You had no problem with it?
No problem. I mean, what's funny
How much coffee do you drink?
Yeah, I was on like 4 or 5 cups a day.
I was about to say, dude.
So there's this story that I tell, which is 100% true. I was on the train one morning going into the city, and I kind of like dozed off for a little bit, and then I kind of woke back up, and I didn't know if I was coming or going into the city.
Wow, you were delusional.
I was completely I had no idea. Unfortunately, I was going into the city to go into work. It would have been nice to come back.
Could you imagine you just blacked out and all of a sudden you're
But yeah, so
scary. Actually,
so that cycle happened for many years.
Wow.
And I think that's where I got my work ethic. I mean, like, again, I love the work. The people that I was working with were great. It was a great experience. But I think putting that time and effort into something, specifically work, made me realize that I want to go do something for myself, because
if I'm going to put the time in.
That's exactly it. If I'm going to put the time in, I want to see the reward.
Yeah,
I want that
that's
to
very
be
valid.
I want that to be for me. And so in the early days of Elude, which is the travel-based business that I ran and started and then sold, in the early days, I was still working in investment banking, and I would be doing some of the development work on my commutes in and out of the city.
So you're doing 18 to 20 hours work and travel.
Yes.
And in the little window of back and forth, you're putting the time in.
I would have calls with developers in India to start developing the app, because we wanted to build a mobile app.
That's different. That's not normal.
I know.
That's not. I mean, I think it's like, what? Like, holy shit! I look up to that shit like that. Like, I love to see shit like that. Like, what is that? That though, for 5 years to do it, and then
the last year was the transitional year where I was basically still working in corporate finance.
Yeah.
But starting my career with the travel app, and knowing that there was like a trade-off. The good news is the people that I was working with at the time knew that I was doing this on the side. So there was a little bit of a breathing room, because some of the days I would have to pop out for meetings or.
This is at Morgan Stanley. The people
exactly.
at Morgan Stanley got you.
People like my first manager. Shout out to him. He was completely on board with me doing this on the side.
Yeah.
And knew that was where my passion was. That's where I wanted to put more time and effort into.
Yeah. That's huge. Did you set those? Did you like establish that with him? Were you very clear?
I was open and honest with him.
Huge.
Because like, and especially that was like, if you remember, I mentioned I was at Morgan Stanley, then Deutsche Bank, but then I went back to Morgan Stanley. I went back because of my manager, and it was because it was under the pretenses that I was still able to work with Elude doing that.
Freedom.
Yeah, so it was a little bit more breathing room, a little bit more freedom.
As long as you're doing your job.
Exactly. As long as I was still doing what I needed to do, like it worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
And then I just remember there was a point where my manager came and sat me down and said, this is the time where you have to go and do this full time, like go start Elude full time, because things were starting to click. People were starting to take our meetings. We were building an app that was like actually working. And so a lot of people then started to realize like, okay, you could actually do this.
Wow.
So that was when we kicked off the fundraise, which was, with friends and family, and like getting people to actually commit money to us doing this full time, essentially.
How would you, because I have a few questions, but being that we're on this topic, you jumped right into it. How would you recommend somebody wants to go and start a business? Yeah. Explain that a little bit. Like, what were the initial steps that showed proof of concept that you have something, and then how does it roll into going and doing like a friends and family raise to get the ball rolling?
Great question. So there's the number one thing that every business owner needs to do. It's called a pitch deck. And basically what it is it's 8 to 10 slides, maybe 12 max, nothing more than that. But it goes into the details of what your business is, who's involved, what you're looking to do, some key statistics maybe about the marketplace, things like that are a little bit more intricate to that area of business, whatever it is. But you develop this 8 to 10 slides to be able to start sharing, because nobody's going to take your call. That's like, people need to realize that until they're intrigued or they want to be a part of something, then they'll jump on a call or, chat with you and discuss what you're doing. But for the most part, you need to kind of like condense your story down into that 8 to 10 slides to be able to start sharing it with people, to say, hey, I'm about to work on this new project. Can you give it a look? Right. And like, that is the hook.
Plant your seeds.
That is the hook. The second that you do that, people will start to become interested. It makes it a little bit more real, even if you don't have it built out, right? You don't need to have the app 100% built.
Correct. Proof of concept.
Proof of concept. It's just bare bones. What am I doing? Who's involved? What do I want to get out of this? Like, that's the exciting factor.
Yeah. And how confident you are in yourself.
Yeah.
If I walk into a place and I could have the deck and all that, and if I'm sitting there like, and so, you got to be. You got to sell them.
So after I sold, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but after I sold the travel business, I started another business in the consulting world. That does basically two things: pitch decks and fundraising 101. So,
wow,
so now we help other people who are going and trying to find investment or, raise money from investors or angels, things like that. Wow. Like we help facilitate that.
That's amazing. Yeah. Do you want to share some information like where people can find you in that regard?
Yeah, so we're called The Lab Ventures, and there's 4 of us. There's 2 of us based here in New Jersey and then 2 in California. Okay. And between the 4 of us, we have a plethora of knowledge and kind of background in agency work or creative work. For me specifically, I'm more like financial and operations and investment kind of world. But yeah, we can be found at theinvestordeck@gmail.com is kind of like my plug.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. That's awesome that you do that. And it's a good look, pay it forward kind of, having gone through the experience.
I absolutely love talking to other founders who are in the midst of building and scaling. It's so exciting.
It's exciting.
It's so exhilarating.
Yeah.
It's fun. You get like the passion meets like, robust energy. It's just a different world.
It is a different world. And that's where like I was saying, it's I love when somebody, you might have 10 people in a room and none of them like, oh dude, this guy, another freaking idea. If I see that there's a passion there, like I'm giving you a little extra time.
Yeah.
Why? I have to feel that. So I'm saying it because I love people that have ideas and like you could tell believe in it.
And I love people. My whole biggest thing is action, right? People who do something with it.
Yeah. Something.
It's just start. Just do something that gets kind of the ball rolling, that gets something a little bit moving down the needle. Like that type of work, I mean, as long as somebody's doing this, I mean, it's day after day after day. It's a grind.
It's a lot. Yeah.
But just to make that first few steps, and like, again, that's where I go, like pitch deck is number 1. That's what you need to do in order to start selling your business or like talking to different investors or building a business.
And it's good for like somebody young who's ambitious, who maybe has an idea to hear.
Yeah.
Just a pitch deck. I'm aware of that. I've seen enough of them and understand it. But like an 18-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid, 20-year-old, somebody doesn't have a clue where to begin. Listen, step 1.
Yeah.
Put it on paper. Please put it on paper. Make it make sense so that if you do share it with somebody, there's a professionalism about it. And that matters.
That's so true. And the professionalism, there's tools that you can use out there, both AI, but then also like real world people. So like Upwork, I don't know if you're familiar.
I'm very familiar with
like
Upwork. Yeah.
Upwork, you can pay $50 to $100.
They will do wonders for you.
They will do wonders. Yeah. And again, it makes your business more real.
Yes.
Even if it's just a $50 investment or a $100 investment. It's
because if you're dealing with business people, you can have the great ideas all day. But if they see that you have that side too,
100%.
You can handle the business.
Yes.
That's a huge thing, dude. Huge. They want that. They have to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest difference that I would say for me personally, like building and scaling a travel startup with investors. The early stage investors, they believed in the idea. That was like the big thing, right? Like, okay, yeah, what you guys are doing is building something unique. It's interesting. There's kind of like something there. But when you start going more towards like raise after 25 investors or close to 100 investors, like they're not betting on the idea. They're betting on the product and what you've delivered so far. So there's kind of like this arc that exists with a product or a business where you need to actually do the work. But then like once you do the work and it's actually working, other people are going to view that and kind of want to jump aboard.
Yeah, totally. So how does it, for people that are listening too, I think this is important. All of this is great. This is stuff that people don't know. They don't. You could Google it, but this is how it works. You have somebody who's done it. It's important to hear it. You get 50 investors to get going. What is the incentive for them? How do you set up the business where this is the incentive for an investor who puts in $5,000?
Yeah, equity is the biggest thing, right? So they want equity in the business to be able to draw down on that in the future sense. So the good news is for us, we didn't really take any investment lower than $25,000. That was kind of like our minimum. But for other businesses, I mean, it could be 5, 10,
be anything,
$1,000, whatever. But for us, the first 50 investors were all like $25,000 to $50,000 investments, and we were betting on that we were going to go out and raise our Series A, which again, for people that don't necessarily know this, there's like the pre-seed, which is early stage, like let's call it maybe first $50,000 to $100,000 of investment, and then the seed stage, which is like 250 to close to about $1 million investment, and then your Series A, which is like $1 million plus. So there's different stages of startup business, and like you can't jump stages. doesn't
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
Correct.
You have to go through the stages where you raise a little bit of money, you know, proof of concept, get, you know, the app working, things like that, hire a few people, things like that, then go and raise a little bit more money and prove your demand and prove that you're working, maybe invest in PR or branding and things like that.
Yeah. You start building your departments and yep.
Exactly. And then later stage, which is like, you know, the Series A and beyond is like, okay, we've made it. We're, you know, either going to sell the business or we're
IPO
going or IPO, or go down the later stages of like Series A.
It's a nice little place to be in.
Yeah, that's
a pretty sweet place.
Very good spot. But yeah, for us, like the biggest upside was equity, was them building, you know, equity in the business and being part of what we're doing. Now, the other thing that a lot of people don't talk about also too, for us with our business, we had about 10 or 12 advisors, and all of them come from unique, extremely successful backgrounds.
Is that considered your board?
So essentially it could be your board. On paper, they're not really your board unless you actually like bring them on as a board advisor. But like our advisors were equity incentivized, so we did give equity to those. But like, for example, one of them, Jeff, he was a co-founder of Priceline. Like that's massive for what we were trying to do.
That on paper opens doors.
That exactly.
Those doors.
Yeah, the doors that we wanted open.
Correct.
That's exactly it. So like a lot of people don't talk about it, but like having advisors, it's kind of like this balance between having investors to give you money, but then you need advisors to give you actual advice
to make this business do what it has to do, who's done it before. And that's a really good point too, because they're not even, they're sweat. Their time is sweat.
Yeah.
You know, they're not, I mean, you can incentivize them. You can incentivize an advisor financially, but typically you want to work it where it's equity. The drawback would be, oh my God, like we sold this business for $1 billion, and you're thinking to yourself as a founder, like, we gave, right?
That's it. So-and-so,
but you also wouldn't have gotten there without them, and you're good anyway. But that is so
100%. And I think like for us, what we realized is like having that team around us, not only was it good to like hire people in our team, but like having the advisors help us navigate some of these things. Yeah. Because like we were doing it for the first time.
Spaces you haven't been. Yeah, correct, dude. 100%.
The first time.
You need it. And how cool is that too? You get to bounce ideas around with not just one, but 12 of them.
Yeah.
Who are all
come from completely different backgrounds.
And then you have to sift through it and make like, the right decisions.
Should we do this? Is this the right thing? And then you jump on something and you're like, oh, okay, it did work or it didn't work, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, let's dial back. All right, so we make the transition. You're leaving the finance world. You have now jumped.
Yes.
Right. What are you doing? Like, where are you at this point?
Traveling the world.
Okay.
So me, my partner, and my ex-wife, we traveled for 8 months, close to 8 months.
Was there a reason for this? Or
largely because we didn't have money to fuel to work and live in the U.S.
Okay.
So it was cheaper to go and travel the world. Hostels and hotels and things like that.
You've done shit, dude.
So we traveled for many months, for many countries.
Wow.
And the whole idea was that we were building Elude at the core. That was what we were doing.
So as long as you're together, as long as you're building, you have the world, the internet.
We would go to coffee shop after coffee shop after coffee shop in all of these places.
So this has become it's your routine.
It's my thing.
Now I get it.
Now you get it.
Now I get it.
Yes. So like I exist in coffee coffee places.
Yeah.
You know,
that's funny.
So we were traveling and being able to kind of like live abroad. And then this is one story which is kind of funny and interesting, but we were getting down to our last few bucks. Like when I say last few bucks, between the three of us, we had maybe a few $100 together. Okay. And we were in Paris at the time.
Okay.
And I called up one of my old managers and I said, listen, this is now months after leaving. We're still months at building the startup. I said, we're coming down to our last few bucks. Like, you know, something's got to give here. We need to raise money. And he goes, okay, where should I send a check? And he had to send the check to my parents' house because we were traveling abroad. And so it was our first $10,000 check, which we didn't have any other $10,000 afterwards. No, actually, I have a photo of it.
Okay. It's cool. That's like a thing. Yeah.
But that $10,000 changed our lives because it gave us the click of like, there's people who are actually going to believe in us and do this.
Wow, yeah.
And now we have the obligation to actually do this. And
Correct.
so
Prove it. So if I'm going to give you that money.
Yeah, that's it. So within the matter of 2 or 3 days after that, we flew from Paris to LA and hit the ground running in LA.
And stayed there.
Found
home.
For 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that obviously a great move?
Great move.
Yeah.
Loved it. I mean, loved being out in LA. The people are a little bit dicey. I don't know if you've been out in LA.
I have a love-hate relationship with LA. I have been out in LA, and I definitely got when my first month.
Yeah.
Wow, like this is a wild place. Just bouncing around, the people. Mind you, I'm in entertainment and cannabis.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
that's your spot.
And then I started to realize like everybody knows somebody, and everybody's this and everybody's that, and like it started to become one. It was the lines blurred. It was just who's who and what, and how do I even navigate it? I needed to dial back. It was I don't know. I felt there was a little bit. I hate to say it because I know some really good people in LA and from LA, but like a little fugazi.
Yeah,
it felt fugazi.
Definitely, and I think also having the New York mentality out there completely different.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Totally different. Totally different.
So I love the New York mentality. The New York
nothing like
There's
it.
nothing like it.
Different motor.
But being out in LA, it was cool for the travel business. It was cool for us building and scaling.
Silicon Valley's out there.
Silicon Valley. We went up to San Francisco multiple times for multiple trips.
And for what you're doing.
Yeah. So it made sense. It definitely aligned to what we were doing.
So all right, $10,000. You get to LA.
Yeah.
You park up. Would you get an apartment?
Yeah, got an apartment.
With that 10,000 was like a deposit, or
it was
used it for a deposit.
Used a deposit.
So you have 3 flights.
Yep.
1,500.
Yep.
Down payment for an apartment.
Yep.
I don't know. It could be fucking depends.
$2,000.
Oh, is that okay? Okay, so it's not bad. $2,000.
Yeah.
And now you have this little bit to play with.
So now it's go time. So now it's
you have no choice. All right. So what's the next?
And actually, the first time when we moved out to LA, at first I actually stayed with my business partner on his couch for a month.
Okay.
Before we got a deposit on an apartment.
So he lived out in LA.
He lived
Your
out
business
in LA.
partner's in LA.
He was out in LA already. He jumped maybe like a few months beforehand.
From the global trip?
No, he came on the global trip.
He was, but then left early.
Then left. Yeah.
Got it. What was the reason for that?
To go start building Elude.
Got it.
So when we all came back, when we all left to go back to LA, I stayed with him and basically like powered through for the next month to find investors. So I reached out to hundreds. It wasn't 10, it wasn't 50, it was like hundreds of investors.
People you know, people you don't, people you refer to, anybody.
It was across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like, that month, I think that month I didn't leave the coffee shop. And all I did was reach out to different investors.
Just cold calling anybody you could.
Cold call anybody that would take a meeting, jump on a call, talk to me. Like basically,
what it takes, man.
And that's all that it was. And luckily, out of the first 100 people, maybe I landed 1 or maybe 2. But like
1 or 2 with that.
2 is $25,000-$50,000. It gave us the breathing room to start actually building runway.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't talk about in business is like, how much runway do you have? Like, that's not just how much money you have in the bank. It's like, what are you spending all of your stuff on? Like, what's the intricacies of like all of that? And you need to know all of this.
Was there a lot of overhead? Did you have a lot of overhead?
Very little.
Yeah, I would imagine with what you're doing.
Very little. We didn't have an office at the time.
Yeah.
It was just basically out of the apartment.
Really, your overhead is like your living.
My living, yeah. But mind you, and I will say this, I was coming off of the cusp of living a Wall Street lifestyle. So, I mean, I was making great money.
Yeah.
But what people don't talk about as well, or I don't really talk about, is that like year of transition, every dollar that I was making for investment banking, I was reinvesting into the business. So I wasn't having savings or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, remember when I mentioned that I was having calls with like developers in India? Who's paying for that? That was coming from my salary. So,
correct.
It was just a distribution of like funds.
Yeah, you're putting it towards what you believe in, 100%. You're investing in yourself. Yeah.
So that was what happened out in LA, is like basically that first month was just power down, find investors, and then we got accepted into one of the top accelerator programs in LA. That second month. So things start.
How does that work? I'm not.
So an accelerator is like they'll take a small percentage of equity in the business for a small investment. At the time, it was $150,000. So as much as it's small, it's a leg up. Yeah. And the whole idea is that you get to test your product and your business for a few months before it goes out for a large scale
Oh, so you can play a little bit and understand what you need to do before you launch,
Yes.
and it's under with their dollar,
and
whatever
like,
else they're giving you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then once you're about to be ready, and this is like a conversation with you and their team.
Yeah.
Like they're the ones that kind of help you navigate
Guide
what to do.
you. Do they offer like legal? Do they offer various different?
Yeah, they have contacts in legal. They have different events where
they're giving you. Yeah.
So all of this stuff, it kind of like helps the umbrella. So it's not just $100,000 or $150,000 check. It comes with connections.
Yeah.
And those connections are trusted network connections. So for example, the investment company that invested in us, have you heard of Honey?
Like, yeah, of course, of course. It's in like the right. It's in like yeah.
They were the first investor in Honey.
Wow.
And so they've done many first investments in a lot of businesses.
Okay, got it.
And they are a great asset for any person or business that is looking to go out and scale their business because they know what it takes to do that. So
what did you have to do to that point? So are you showing income for them to be like, oh yeah, you qualify?
No.
How do you qualify for an accelerator?
The idea, the team, this goes back to like the point of like you having a good core group and a product, right? Is it working? Is it not? Is the opportunity massive? Is the market massive?
And they kind of have a pretty good idea as to whether it isn't based on experience and whatever else.
So one of the main managing partners was a ex C-suite at Expedia. So he knows, he knew travel, he knew what we were doing had a big impact, could have a big, massive opportunity.
Yeah.
And so the conversation with him was very direct and was like, yeah, you guys have something here, but you need to go prove X, Y, and Z. Come back in another week, come back in another week, come back in another week.
Yeah.
So for literally weeks, we would tinker with the product, with the business, things like that, until we were really ready.
Felt right.
And
across the board, you're getting the okay from like, oh yeah, it's time.
So like that's
before. Yeah. You haven't even explained what what is the, you feel me? I think we got to get into that.
Oh yeah.
So what is the business that you've created? It's obviously in the travel space, but
it was in the travel. It was budget-based travel.
Okay.
So basically what we did was you tell us how much money you're looking to spend. So let's say $1,000, and then we would showcase everywhere in the world where you could afford to get to, flight plus hotel. So the whole idea was like, okay, I got this much money. What can I do? So you would see Paris, London, Rome, Tokyo, all for the same type of cost. So now you are thinking differently about how far your dollar can take you.
Yeah. Because you don't know. You don't
know
even know what to do with $1,000.
Everybody who's going to be listening to this goes on Google, types in the first place that they want to go to, Florida or Miami or LA.
Looks up a flight cost and
so they say they do it in a different way because you need to know where you want to go first. In our view, what we were doing so different was that it could be anywhere. It didn't matter the location.
You're getting options.
It's
going to fit your budget.
It's going to fit your budget. That's exactly right.
Now, how important were the relationships with hotels and flights? Did you have them? How does that work? How do you know?
So technologically, you can go in. There's a lot that we had to build out.
Almost like pre-AI.
Yeah. So this is it's called GDS.
Okay.
And it's basically like what all of the travel sites out there internationally use for hotels and flights.
You're kind of like, you got it, yeah.
So from a technical angle, yes, there's different ways that you can kind of plug and play into the flights and the hotels.
Yeah.
But that took a lot of learning for us and like a lot of development work to be able to offer that.
Was there ever any, it was wrong?
Oh yeah,
probably
wrong. And like I'll give you one story as well. The first week that we launched, we were doing so many searches on our app that the GDS services shut us down. They literally turned our switch off because we were exceeding the amount of searches that we were allowed. And it's because you pay per search. People don't know this, but from that, like we're doing hundreds of thousands of searches. Like
it's like text messaging. I was in hospitality tech, so you only offered so much text messaging. If you went over it, your bill was you were getting slammed with.
So they shut us off because they were like, listen, like we weren't expecting you guys to be at this level. The first week that we went out of the gate.
So do you renegotiate and say, okay?
Yeah. So we did a little bit of renegotiating, but we also did. So I'll give you the full context. When you searched on Elude initially the first week, we would give you literally 20 to 30 options that you can go. So as I said before, London, Paris, Rome, Tokyo, all these places, like you can see all of them in real time.
Yeah.
What we needed to do in order to scale back the amount of searches was not offer as many search options afterwards. So
Got
instead
it.
of doing 20 or 30, we limited it to like 5 or 6.
Got
so
it.
There was ways that you could articulate and change the dynamic of the search, but
that's really interesting, because it is one of those things that I could imagine it hits the market and people are just curious. Where could I go for? Never will. They're not going to pull the trigger. They're not going to do it.
But they're just going to sit there and search
all day for an hour. I could imagine, like, oh my God, I could be in Bali. Or
there was one of our top searchers. He was doing like, I want to say it was like 50 or 60 a day. Where like,
think about it. That's a dreamer. He's a dreamer.
He's just sitting there literally.
But you know what? It's crazy is that's a thing. And then there's somebody I'll talk to you about it after, but there's somebody I've talked to. It's not the same business at all. But it's similar in regards to, it's one of those things that people are going to like constantly just play with it to see.
Yeah.
And my thought was like, well, how do you capitalize on that?
Yes.
Right. And so that now becomes an added business model where, yes, you have your business, you know what you're getting, the book, whatever it is, you probably have your cuts. I don't know how it was all set up. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
But like, could you charge them for extra searches? Did you start doing any of that?
So no, we wanted to
keep it clean. Yeah, because you can.
And the thing is after a long period of time, you could even start to, and a lot of people don't know this as well, but you can start to like add in buffers for hotel price and like have kickbacks and like there's different ways to make money in the travel space.
Yeah.
Everything's different, right? But like you do have flexibility in the sense where like, what you're charging, also fees on top of this, like you can do fees because you're the broker, you're the one who's actually, buying and selling the airline ticket and the hotel. So
these apps, like I notice a lot of these apps where it's like they suck you in, where it's like you for a free month and then you're using it, and then it's like, okay, well, I want to keep using it. I'll pay the $3, whatever. 3 times 100,000 users is a chunk of change. And so it's a really interesting thing. It's like, how do you make them pay a little bit? It feels like nothing, but they all do. I do it.
Yeah.
I've subscribed to things in the moment.
So the good news is because we had investors that basically gave us funds. We didn't need to go down the route of like trying
correct.
Those
and you want to keep your integrity for what it's worth. I'm sure. There's aspects,
especially with like the loyalty and the trust factor of
your business model. It's however you set up your business model. But I know what you're saying. Like if you're going to go in the route where it's trust is, which it always should be, but like paramount. Yeah. And like we want to really hone in on that. This is how we started it. We don't want to veer. We don't want to be that company that's trying to be looked at a certain way. Yeah. I totally understand. It's just interesting that you can make money on damn near anything.
It's at this particular point. And I think also like running the lab, which is pretty funny, like seeing different businesses operate in completely different landscapes.
There's no real one way to do it.
Totally.
Foundationally, listen, there's a lot of foundational stuff that is important to understand. The forms you need to sign, like employees, like who's like there's aspects of your business that foundationally it's all very relative to each other. But how you run your business. One thing I remember, I was talking to somebody and they were talking about titles.
Okay.
And in my mind, I'm thinking like titles are like an established fucking thing. And then and then somebody said to me like, I could call you. We can create our own. I can call you chief of the world sandwiches. Like it could be anything. And I'm like, oh my God. So it's just a title.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What matters is the equity.
Yes.
The salary, if you're depending on, right? But like, a title is just a fucking title.
And I'd say also too, the biggest thing is long-term vision as well. Like, because a lot of like, and that's what, especially when hiring people, like finding people that view the long-term vision of what your business is.
Huge, like believe in it early,
want to be a part of it. Like,
want to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
Because that has to be,
especially startup world.
You got to see it. Yeah. You need people that are going to believe in it.
Yeah.
Jump. A lot of times it's people that maybe have like a little bit in the bank. They can't afford it.
Yeah.
Right. But then there's others that are just ambitious, young, hungry, whatever. But you have, you're delegating all of that.
So we were hiring between me and my 2 other co-founders. We were hiring not only developers but designers,
so
PR
website
agencies,
aesthetics, everything.
Exactly. Like basically everything under the sun. We went through the full process of hiring every person.
Did you hire, or did you? Was everybody hired? Or did you like third party? Like
third party was at first with our development agency.
Okay.
Because there was like a good 10 or 12 of them, and then they grew to like 20 plus. But yeah, I mean that was like a big first step because we needed what we were building was tech, right? So like, okay, it's good to have like a CEO and a CMO, but that didn't really matter at first.
What does that do? You have to build the thing.
You need to have
what can you CEO?
Yeah.
What are you CEOing?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So our CTO was the one at first who hired majority of the.
For those that don't know, Chief Technology Officer.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah,
I mean, it could have been anything actually.
It could be.
It could have been Chief T-Rex. Toilet Officer. Yeah, correct. Yeah. That's awesome, man. It's crazy. All right, so you're raised. I think the last thing you see, like 150K. You got this accelerator that's got you going. Now you launched the product.
We launched the first version, and while we were launching the first version, we went out for our second raise, which was mid,
right as you launched.
Right as our launch.
Was that a plan, or did you?
Yeah, that was executed because we needed to build on the hype.
Yeah.
And we had some good momentum. I mean, this didn't happen overnight, but it didn't happen over 5 years. This happened like within 6 months.
Yeah,
like,
but you're from idea to the time you do it. This is a plan.
The first 6 months. This was completely thought out, very methodical, very like detailed.
Knowing your benchmarks, when you're going to hit these. This is when we're going to do that. This is when it that. Did it always align, or did you have to?
Then it started to align.
Okay, got it.
So there was things that did, and then there's things that completely were off.
Because you don't even know.
We were just going.
All right, this sounds good. Yeah. After 90 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we started to do some good PR work and align that with our next raise. So we raised like a little over, I think at the time it was like $1 million or $2 million around that. And that brought us into COVID. So now COVID and travel, luckily we can go out and just build during the next, 6 months to 8 months, and have
knowing
a product,
it's going to come back,
knowing that so there was always this idea of like, travel is going to come back.
Very interesting, because where your minds could have been like, fuck,
yes.
This is, and I'm sure at some point it's like, geez, what do we do? But you're right, because now you got everybody who I've been cooped up for 6 months. I need to get out of here. Your market actually kind of explodes.
It really worked out well for us, because we closed our our seed stage check, which was like the 2 million mark.
Yeah.
About a month and a half before COVID started.
It's like February, January.
Yes.
Okay.
So January we closed, our ticket.
2020.
And we had millions in the bank, and we were able to kind of like now focus on what the product should be.
Yeah, when we do this, it's gonna So you're not having to juggle the operational side of it.
Correct.
That's actually a blessing in disguise. If
it was, I mean,
in a weird way.
At first we were I know for me, I was like panicking. I was like, we're building a travel
nobody's
startup.
flying.
Yeah, all of it, and all of this stuff was happening all very fast.
Yeah.
And then, it got to a point where we really were able to tinker with the product and get it to a place where not only did it work, right, which is like step one.
Work differently.
Like
we're good.
But like it looked good.
Yeah.
We had good PR. There was good aspects to it. Yeah.
Wow. It's probably because the money you now can put into developing.
Yes.
Which you probably wouldn't have had it.
Correct.
You wouldn't have. Not the amount you probably put into it.
So luckily that was like our grace period of just like complete development of the app.
Crazy.
And then when things started to open back up is when we launched a next fundraise. But in addition, it was now, okay, we need to launch, but we need to like go out and scale this thing. We need to get tens of thousands of users.
Yes.
And like get people searching and booking and things like that.
So at this point now, we're going back to decks now.
Yeah.
You restructure a deck.
Oh yeah. And
probably for the 4th or 5th time at this point.
But this deck looked
I could only imagine, because now you have the capacity to be able to make we are going to raise what we need to raise, and we've already raised whatever. So you're in a very sweet spot.
So we already raised $2 million at that particular point. We were going out for another $3 million.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the catalyst of like exactly to what you said. What we've done, we've already done.
Yeah.
These are proof points.
Mind you, you're beyond where the you're in like a 0.1, if that, percentage of people that start something and get to that raise.
Yes. So
you're in a very small.
There's not a lot of basically for anybody to
most
know,
fail.
Like, most fail, but also many don't go out and raise $1 million or above.
Even they don't sniff it.
Yeah.
They can make it. They can make $1 million. For sure.
Yeah.
It depends on the business. But like to raise, I don't think people understand fully
the intricacies,
the complexities. There's a lot.
Yes,
it's a lot, and you got to do a lot, and yeah. And so it's a kudos to you.
There's a lot of balancing act
and your team
and the team, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we closed 2 million. Now we were going out for 3 million.
Okay.
And the whole idea exactly was like we need to go out and scale this thing and get people to actually book and use our app and like
close it through us.
Yes.
Crazy. So I'm so curious as to how. Can you share and disclose? Like, okay, this is how we actually. Where did you make the money? Where'd the money?
So the money made was largely from hotel kickbacks.
Okay.
And flight kickbacks. Flight kickbacks, it's like 1%. So
okay.
It's very small.
Yeah.
Hotels is like 16%.
That's huge.
Could be up to 20 if you have the right agreements.
That's a chunk of change.
And you're not talking about small,
No, you say Hilton's. I imagine the map, right?
And you're talking like the typical search on our platform was like $3,200 or like $2,500, right? So
families.
Yeah, you're not talking about like $100 trip, right? So you're getting kickbacks off of these large scale.
Wow, I'm thinking
bookings.
of like a family. You get 1,000 families, four people to
Yep.
use your.
And here's the thing that I will share. That it was massive for us. We had a really good PR company that got us into really top notch places. So like
hotels, you're saying like hotels?
No, like
like search
like
spot.
the New York Times.
Oh,
we had an article written about us on the New York Times.
So now you're trusted.
Now you're trusted. We were on Fox Business. We were on these platforms that like gave us not only trust, but they gave us. Like
you're in a different bracket of PR. You don't get that. You're in a different bracket of marketing. You're in spaces that don't, you don't get that.
That's very difficult to get.
Very difficult to get. The right PR,
I will say this, like, yes, it was partly, okay, we built a great product and we built a great team.
Yeah.
But like we had great PR helping us to get us
yeah.
to the marketing aspect.
Huge, man. Monsters.
Which was pretty cool. Yeah.
So now you're rolling. When did you get your first? You said 10,000. Did you get 10,000 users?
We had over, yeah.
So when did you hit? Let's say 1,000. When was your first 1,000?
Within the first day.
Really?
Oh yeah.
From just from the I imagine you hit the right.
From us launching the app because we timed it well where we had the Fox Business, the New York Times article, and like another TechCrunch article talking about our next fundraise, because it was kind of like all at once. But yeah. That like our first 1,000 was like that first day.
Not 1,000 booking.
No, not 1,000
users on the app.
The first month, I think we had 30,000 users.
Wow.
So that was like the first month baseline.
That's a lot of people, dude, that are actively using your creation.
It was freaking cool. It was really cool.
Dude. It's awesome. It's amazing.
It was really cool. Yeah. And then from that we timed it where we were raising our next fundraise to go out and scale that. So that we would get like 300,000 bookings or users. Sorry, 300,000 users.
What was the conversion rate?
Yeah, it was low. It was like 2-3%. Like, but still. But the good news was like we were testing, are people actually searching, and then if they're searching, what's their typical budget?
At that point, you can figure out how to make them.
Exactly. We also had like an onboarding test, which was a really cool, different way of travel to like learn about you as a user to like help. Now this is pre-AI, which is kind of weird to say.
Oh, so it starts to pick up on your tendencies, your searches,
So things like, you typically book an aisle seat, or
so it
like
starts giving you these options.
Or your son's birthday is this, right? Like things that like we can save on the back end to help. Now, mind you, we sold the business before AI was really like big on travel. Now it's a completely different landscape.
For sure.
The last like few years, but that's been kind of like the arc of building and scaling.
That's nuts. So when did you sell the?
A year and a half ago.
So you from 2020. Well, you've been doing it for a while, but then 2020 hits. You're raising. You had that time to launch. You take the time to launch. It relaunches. You have all the publicity. Year and a half ago would make it what, 2023?
2024.
24. So you had about 2-3 years of running the business.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I
you're
decent math?
Yeah.
I remember a little bit. Brain's fried, but
yeah, you're getting there.
Okay. And then what was your reason for getting out? Like what made you, was that the goal always?
So the goal was either to raise more money or to sell the business.
Okay.
And because we weren't hitting some of the metrics that the large scale VCs wanted, they wanted hundreds and thousands of bookings,
and
basically.
VCs we tell them? Venture capital.
Venture capital,
okay.
yeah. So
just want to make sure.
the VCs, venture capital will invest, 5, 10, 20, 100 plus
Those
million.
are your big investors.
Those are your massive investors. So the investors that we were talking to, they wanted to see some larger metrics.
Yeah.
And our runway wasn't aligned to that.
Okay.
So we needed to move quickly and do something different, which was, in that case, find a partner that would kind of work with us to sell this.
Got it.
And so we were working with, they're called going.com. I don't know if you're familiar with like Scott's Cheap Flights or like another. Okay. So there's a few businesses out there. They have like millions of users. They're very mass scale. They're more on the deals, but they wanted to use the platform to be able to actually book hotels and flights because they weren't able to do that during their technology.
Nice. So they absorbed. They
absorbed the technology for them to start like leveraging the tech itself.
Yeah.
And in that case, now offer those type of options to their users, which again were kind of mass scale to us.
And so, and that's a company coming in and saying, instead of us building out and competing with, we are going to buy, purchase, absorb, whatever, acquire an existing company that has the infrastructure. Do a lot of your employees stay?
So they didn't stay.
None of them. So just the tech.
It was just the tech. And the three of us, so me and the two partners, we stayed on for 6 months to basically transition all of the, actually the 22 tech developers, they actually stayed on.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Though.
So the tech developers,
you need them.
You need them. And the good news is they were the ones who helped build us and scale us. And then now they were kind of the ones to help build and scale
because their job is their job. It's not like all the nuances and craziness of the business.
Yes,
they have.
It's a different
I love them. I do. I think like coders and tech people are so interesting.
They are brilliant people.
Brilliant. So I told you where I'm at now, and that's half the company.
Yeah.
And I just look around. Like the sales department is very different.
Oh yeah.
From like we are living in two different spaces. You know what I mean? Sales want to go and have a beer, and commission this, commission that, and they are just.
Yeah, plugging away.
Creating all the things that I'm going and getting commission for, which is, and I watch, dude, it's like really fascinating to see how different brains work.
Yeah.
How different people do different things, but there's so much value in that.
I've met the smartest people in my entire
Could
life
only imagine,
as
dude. Tech.
Like that's what they do.
Tech
and
people.
Like it's a different world. It really
very
is.
different. Their brains just work different.
Yeah.
They just work different. That's crazy.
But the thing is, and this is what, again, me and my co-founder realized, like you can't have just a CEO and a CMO. You need to have the CTO, somebody that actually
understands the tech. How are you going to direct 20?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah,
you can act like you can.
Yeah.
You can lead.
Yes.
But you're damn sure not going to tell them like you're doing that wrong.
Exactly.
You're not going to. I don't even know what you're doing to get it to this point.
Yeah.
But thank you.
There was a milestone so this was kind of funny that, again, as a CEO, like I don't necessarily know what's going on in the tech world.
Yeah.
But there was a moment where we surpassed 1 million lines of code.
Well, I don't even know what the hell. So yeah. Wow. So
that's a lot of tech.
That's a lot of tech. So it constantly builds on top. You're adding.
So the core features, the profile, the search, all of this stuff is part. So that was a big deal for me.
How long would it take if you just go like this and hold
all
down?
All day.
If anybody's ever seen coding,
it's literally just lines of code.
You have no idea what you're looking at.
No idea.
So outside of my wheelhouse.
So it's funny because, like, again, as the CEO, I celebrated the 1 million lines of code, but like
don't
for
even know
them,
why.
They're like this is just what it is. Like
that's crazy. Is 1 million line of coding like
that's a lot?
Is it in comparison to?
It's like what. Actually, there's a good article that my CTO sent across. Maybe I'll send it to you. Of the different apps and how many lines of code each one of them is.
I would love to see that.
And it shows. Yeah, I'll find
I bet you there's some that are in the billions. A billion?
No, not
millions.
Millions and
millions. Right? Millions and millions.
Yeah, but you'll be surprised how little some of the larger apps are.
Some of them are simple.
But very simple.
Well, that's where marketing and business is so freaking wild, bro. Because there is no one way.
Yes.
It depends what your thing is.
Yeah.
I could open up 30, food spots and it have nothing to do with tech.
Yeah.
Knowing tech could help the business for sure.
100%.
But our bread and butter will typically not be tech.
Yeah.
And so there's so many different ways and things to do shit.
It's cool, right?
I love it.
That's what I absolutely love.
When you've worked for or started something and you're around it and you see the inner workings of real corporate, like real, especially tech companies. Like now I've worked for a few. So like when you see it and you see the infrastructure and you see the foundation, you see how they grow, you see how they scale, you see how they raise, where the money goes, where the marketing dollars, like all of these things kind of give you a like, holy shit, there's so much more to what I see on the surface. It's what we all do as consumers.
It's ridiculous.
You don't even know. Like the majority of people out here who point a finger and like, I fucking this and that. Yo, you don't have a clue what is going on right now with this business. Like there's a lot of shit. You would love to be not only just a part of that, but like build something like that. Majority of people, you just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
You don't have a clue.
That's what
that's what you do.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's what I love talking to other founders that are building cool and unique things.
Yeah. Who have no idea really.
No idea how to navigate the landscape, but they know that they want something different.
It's an intimidating landscape.
Yes.
Because it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's very overwhelming. And you need the right minds, and that's why that's why right partners and right positions and right executives and right leadership and
right advice. I mean, that's
everything.
The thing.
Yeah.
Like it needs to, and the right time. Honestly, like
people, good people that aren't gonna weasel.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fucking things, bro. You're delegating and managing a lot of shit.
Yeah, and I'll say for us, like the biggest thing was the time component. Like we were at the right place at the right time with the right people, and that really
timing is everything.
Yeah, timing is massive.
You couldn't have done this, you could have, but like. It wouldn't be the same in another time. It just wouldn't. Timing is everything. It's crazy. All right, so you sell in 2024.
Yeah.
Okay. Excited? What's the feeling?
Very excited.
Yeah.
We
did it, or?
The thing was, the biggest thing was like, and I'll give the travel analogy.
Yeah.
We landed the plane.
Yeah.
And
Safely.
There was a lot of turbulence. There's a lot. A lot. And like the whole idea, and you've probably heard this as well in startup land, it's like jumping out of a plane and having to make the plane to come back down. Like that's what you're doing. So for us, not only did we jump out of the plane and actually created a plane, but then we actually landed that plane where we were able to all survive and have stories to tell from it. Now, mind you, was it the best and biggest exit that I wanted? No, but it was also
nothing. Yeah, dude,
but the experience that
proud of. I mean, come
on. Experience that we just navigated through was extremely well
and prepares
me now for the next thing.
Which we're going to get into.
Yeah, hence is my next kind of like big project.
That's the next thing. We're going to take a break for a second because I got to pee.
Yeah,
and we're going to go right into your. Cool. Yeah, this is good. All right, we're back. Pee break needed. All right. So amazing. First of all, the story. I knew it. I said it to you when we jumped off camera. Like I had a feeling, because obviously you don't even do what you did without there being some story. But like, I love hearing this shit, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing it with people, because I don't know if a lot of people know the depth of your stuff.
No, I mean, I tend to keep it private.
You seem like a quiet, private person in general.
I'm definitely not somebody to like blast it all, but like, there is a lot of experience that we went through that like a lot of people just don't know, right?
Yeah. It's fascinating. It's cool. It's good insight for people to see, and being that my audience is here, I'm excited to share this. I think it's good for people to see. But now we're talking our next venture. So you're at it business.
Yeah.
You probably take some time to yourself.
Yes.
Have taken some time to yourself.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you did when you?
I traveled for a little bit.
Okay.
I think I mentioned this to you, but I went on like a silent yoga retreat to Cambodia. So that was like a big thing for me. Get back to my kind of spirituality and kind of like, figure out what's next.
Yeah.
For me, I've been 5 years sober. And,
amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Did you have?
I had problems with alcohol, like not to a point where I was like, like drinking early in the mornings, but like I would be drinking every single day for countless days. And that was kind of the ebb and flow of like what built the business also, but like also sustained my lifestyle.
Yeah. Socially, I'm sure it's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually a lot just by myself, like just drinking just for the sake of like building the next thing for Elude.
It was a thing.
It was a crutch.
It was a crutch. It was a thing you felt you needed to do.
Yeah, it felt almost like I was not as creative
without it. I know this feeling, dude.
Right?
I had to stop smoking. I had to stop smoking weed when we were trying to get pregnant first. When Jen was we were trying to get pregnant, and I kept telling him like, this is gonna suck. I'd smoked weed, and sometimes massive, like a lot of it. Like that every second of the day. I'm like, I need it to be creative. I do music. I can't. There's no way. I went like the first month and I am so much sharper without weed. Now I can, if I want it, I know when to do it. It's like end of night. Sometimes I just want to relax, like cool, but I don't need it.
Yes.
And that's a very empowering feeling when it clicks. Not everybody gets there, but anyway.
And so I bring that up because for me, my next venture is more in the non-alcoholic beer space and doing something, that's a little bit more paying homage, I guess you can say, to myself.
Sobriety,
in the past, sobriety.
It's amazing. What's the goal with the company? Because there's a few of them out there. Like, is there something that you're going to do to separate yourself? You don't give me all the things.
I won't give you the full. But so to be in line with my life, it's world inspired. So the first episode, I guess you can call it, or the first product is going to be yuzu and a Japan infused. So it's going to be like
a Sapporo-ish.
Yeah, kind of like a different Japanese flavor. I do.
It's one of those ones. Yeah,
it is. And so like, having like a unique and kind of differentiator that's not just like any type of beer. But I still want it to, taste like beer and be good.
Yeah, of course. And then obviously from a nutritional and health standpoint, you're able to have your beer. There are aspects like or things that you'll add to, you know what? Don't give me. You can't. Yeah. Let's.
We're in the early stages.
Yeah, I do not want to do that.
It is exciting. I will say like getting back to something that I'm passionate about has been like a lifesaver because, and you could probably attest to this with music, but like when you lose track and you're not doing it day in and day out, like you almost feel like you lose a part of
your identity. It's a slippery slope.
And so for me, being out of the game, when I say game, you know, the entrepreneurial game of the last few years, like,
and it was 10 years. You're working for, so you're busy.
Yes.
Busy on your baby. Your passion. Nothing.
Then nothing. And
it's a crazy.
So now
crazy
it's like,
thing.
Finding that passion again, excites me. And now it gives me purpose. It gives me, kind of sanity. And that's the name of the brand, Sanity.
Oh, that's dope.
So yeah. And again, paying homage to me losing my sanity while, having Elude and scaling Elude.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You lost your sanity?
Oh yeah.
You feel like you lost your sanity? You know you lost your sanity?
I know I lost my sanity.
Okay. You want to get into that at all or no?
Probably not.
I'm curious.
The one thing I will say, mental health is a real thing.
Yes, it is.
For me, I did find myself in hospitals dealing with my mental health issues.
And it's like you're going to hurt yourself kind of a thing, or?
More so of like being completely insane, like going and not having like the wherewithal of like delusion and like,
alternate, you're not in reality.
Correct.
Kind of a thing.
Being a little bit more delusional and altered reality. Like I definitely found myself there. And luckily with the support of my loved ones around me, I was able to get past that, but not everybody has that support system.
They don't.
And so for me, it is, and I joke around of like losing my sanity, but like I did lose my sanity. Now I regain that back by doing what is right for me, my body,
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible. And I'm sorry you went through that, but it's awesome that you have been able to wrap your head around it, come out of it, be clear-minded, and use it even as a crutch to create your next thing, which could also simultaneously, that's a story.
Yes.
That story in and of, people love a good story.
So on top of that, and I haven't shared this with a lot of people, but it is like something that I am working on. I'm pretty deep into a manuscript or like a book of these experiences. And because for me, it's not just about getting onto a podcast and talking through experiences and talking through, but like actually learning more about some of the mental health challenges that I've dealt with.
You study, you understand it, you meet people, you go places, and wow.
So right now I'm pretty deep in that. I have 13, 14 chapters, like a pretty good manuscript of like being able to share my story. That's probably the next thing in addition to the non-alcoholic beer.
That's awesome. Yeah. Is that kind of like a post?
Yeah, that's
Sanity.
That's a post thing. I mean, the name of it is You Can Call Me Al.
I mean, if that's not...
So that's the thing,
that is so good.
Because I've kind of personally transitioned from high school Alex to now, Al.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. You're the second out. So Anthony, my buddy Anthony Lasanti, he's Al.
He's Al? I didn't know that.
So I mean, if you know, you know.
Okay.
Not everybody calls him Al, but like us, we all call him Al. He came from his brother, and then we all called him Al. So he's Al. Like in my phone, he's Al.
Yep.
All right. So like this is, and it's funny. I used to sing that song.
You can
to him.
Oh, love that.
That sounds like
Yeah,
I sing that song to him. But no, we did like you could call me. Yeah. It's amazing. All right, anyway, it's amazing. I love the title. Yeah, love the title. It's fantastic.
That's the next act.
So you're in chapters of almost your life, and you're starting to really embrace it and understand it and coming into your own. Do you feel as like good right now as you've ever felt?
100%. I am at my peak right now.
You feel it?
Both mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I mean, I have the full spectrum of like being clear and decisive around what I want, and doing the things that I want.
Awesome, bro.
So I feel very, very fortunate. Yeah.
It's a fortunate feeling.
It's taken a long time and a lot of heartache to get here.
It usually does, though, dude. Life is not easy.
Yeah.
And you either concede to like life kind of running you, which I think most people, that is the case. I really genuinely do. And most people also fight me on that. Yeah. Like, not me. Not me. I would never really
look at your stuff.
Really look at yourself in the mirror. I say it all the time. Like when you lay your head down at night and you look at yourself in the mirror, what are you telling yourself? Now, some people are simple. I almost sometimes wish I envy it. Like sometimes I do, because I'm very complicated.
Yes.
But I know when I'm doing something wrong. I know when I'm feeling something wrong. I know when something feels wrong. I know, and then I avoid it because I go through the motions of the day and I'm trying to compete and trying to be friends with this and that and work the game and the system, and I come home and it's a fucking cycle.
Yep.
Right. And I'm the only person who's feeling that cycle, regardless of how you see me, view me. It doesn't matter. That's how I feel. And so when you're going through those, like sometimes then you self-sabotage, which I'm fucking God, like I do things to myself always, right? To like deter me from what I know I'm supposed to do. So one of the things that my daughter was and I'm sorry for the ramble, but like this, I'm very big on these topics. Like I love these topics. I love this conversation. My son changed my life, came at a time where it was like, I needed him. If I don't even know what would have happened if I didn't have him.
Wow.
Right. And then was in really good space, changed a lot of things in my life for the better. And, he's my boy.
Yeah.
So I still there was aspects of me that, still was there, but came a long way for sure. And my daughter really shifted.
Perspectives?
Completely.
Yeah.
Right? Because it became a protective thing and it started to become, what would I want her? My wife said to me, she goes, would you want your daughter, this is before we had her, would you want your daughter dating you?
Ooh.
And bro,
that's
fuck, bro.
Damn, that's deep.
Smack me across the face.
That's deep.
And in comparison to many people, sure, me versus a lot of others, sure. But I know me. Also, no, not at all. Right, and that fucked me up.
Yeah,
and it made me be like, yo, you need to spiritually, mentally, physically do what you can to set the example for her, and that's how she's going to view a man.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to do everything I can as try. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm still going to, it's not that, but you know it. So if you know it,
I love that.
It's huge, bro. It's been a life changing thing. It's why I'm in the gym in the morning every day. It's why I do what I do every day. It's why I have I feel the aura around me. I feel it.
Yeah.
Right. And so my kids, and everybody has it different, and you went through your stuff with that. You don't have kids, right? You don't have kids. Okay. Not yet. You will at some point, hopefully. It's amazing. It's one of the greatest things ever, if not the best. But that's what changed me.
I got a lot of nieces and nephews.
So you understand. So
understand
there's something about kids, man. The innocence, when they're yours too, obviously it's totally different, but like the innocence, we almost wish we were that.
The personalities,
Yeah, man, they're so there are all the things that we bitch and complain about. That's not even in their.
They're just trying to have fun.
They are just living and learning and seeing the world for the first time, and the littlest things are exciting. And we can have that too. Obviously, we have to pay attention and be responsible. And like, there's a lot of aspects that we definitely do got to hone in on, and but the gist of the kid in you should never go away. And when you feel that spark dim, I think you pay attention to it.
Yeah,
you're gonna lose yourself.
Got there. I got there. Yeah.
You can call me out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing, dude. I'm very excited for you, man. I'm very excited for you. So Do you have an idea of when you're in the early stages of this business? Do you have an idea of when you're bringing this thing to life?
Probably 3 to 6 months from now. So we're in the early stages of doing distribution and getting like the actual bottling of the beer.
Yeah.
And then, we're probably about 6 months out from having some type of, product to be able to test and
amazing.
Start giving to people. And,
you've got a free sponsorship here, bro.
Perfect. Yeah. I'd love
I'll
that.
sponsor it myself too.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
That's easy money.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of exceeded expectations, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah? Okay, what, you thought it was a dud?
No, I didn't think it was a dud. No, I didn't think it was a dud. But, it took a second for me when I started doing this, bro. Like, coming from music, I had an idea of, like, who or what I thought was cool or who I thought. And I actually came to find that a lot of the coolest people that I've ever met and most, like, what I gained from the conversation was... it wasn't about who on the surface looks a certain way.
Yeah.
It's been years of understanding that, having come from the music industry, because everything in the music industry is just fucking smoke and mirrors. Like,
yes.
We praise things that you don't realize I get it, we're praising, but like some of these people that we're glorifying are not the perfect example of whatever. And it's tough, dude, especially whatever. But anyway, no, it wasn't that I thought it was going to be good, because I know you have a history. I know your story, and I'm into business, and I'm into entrepreneurial. And it's like, I knew it was going to be a good conversation, but like, you're humble, you're cool, you have, you're motivating. Like, I'm 6 years older than you.
Yeah.
I'm motivated by you, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm not scared to say that. That's real shit. Like, I learned something today. I learned a lot of things today.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope you did.
Yeah.
I hope this is as cool
really
for you as it was for me, man.
Very cool.
Yeah, you're a really good dude, bro. I'm rooting for you. However I can help in any way, shape, or form, like, definitely here. I'd love to do a coffee with you once in a blue moon outside of the podcast, shoot the shit. Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
I really would.
And MGK as well.
And MGK. Let's just bump MGK. We're going to like a little road trip. RV.
There we go.
I'm
in.
I am in. Alex fucking Simon. Follow right here. Excited. I was going to put an Instagram up for your new business, but it's not there yet, I don't believe, right?
We do Drink.Sanity.
Drink.Sanity. I'm happy I asked.
Yeah.
So follow Drink.Sanity. Let's get some followers over there. I'm going to do my part as well. We're going to build that thing up as best as we can over here in Westwood, and have a day.
Yeah.
Have a day. Embrace your journey. Don't forget.
Love that.
You know?
Hell yeah. That's good.
Very, very. You're a fascinating